In one of the previous lessons, we looked at unordered lists and ordered lists, and we saw how we can list out some content. Well, what happens if you've got multiple columns of content, multiple rows, and you want to list this content out nice and neatly for your web visitors? And in order to do this, we have tables. So similar to the list items, we've got an opening and closing table. So opening and closing table tags. And now we need to add in some content within the table. And a table is actually going to have more than just that one dimension. So in list items, we had a bunch of items here. We listed them all out. But we also need to consider that we've got rows and columns. So there's going to be two dimensions here. So we need to build this out within our web page. And for tables, so we specify that for each row, we specify the breakdown. So we're going to have a multiple number of rows, so we can just open and close those row tags. And so now we've got all of our rows set up here, and now we need to add in that content. So for tables, we can do TD. So I believe that's table data. So we've got one, close off that TD, and if we had more than one column, so we'd have two, and we'd have maybe three over here, and so on. So now you can see that we're already starting to build out some structure for our tables. So for table headings, there's actually additional, so instead of TD, we're using TH, so that this way the browser understands that these are table headings. So this was, if we were collecting a bunch of people's names, so first name, close off that table head. Next heading in our table, and you see it gets bolded automatically there. So if we had last name, close off that table head. And let's say we're collecting a bunch of phone numbers. So we've got our opening and closing table head. We've got essentially our columns get listed out and so on. So everything is getting output and represented. And now instead of that, we had John. We'll just do a John Smith there, and we'll make up some kind of phone number here. So non-existent phone number. Copy that over, so we've copied that format. And the next person in our list might be someone named Mike. Just give him a name, Mike Jones, and then he's got a slightly different phone number, and so on. So this way we can start representing and outputting our content in a more meaningful fashion to our web visitors. So you're probably looking at this and saying, okay, well, it looks pretty good, but the table is kind of a little bit crammed here. The first name, last name, it's crammed together with the phone number, and it's not really evident that even though it looks kind of like a table, it doesn't really look exactly as what we would want our table to look like. And this is where we add in attributes. So we add in additional styling into our tables, and also any other attributes we can add in order to make our web pages look a lot better, or HTML content look a lot better. So with adding in styling into our web pages, we can do it inline, where we add in the style attribute here. So I'm going to just specify that this is 100% and give it property of width. So you see that right away, it changes the way the look and feel of our content. We can also add in styling in a CSS file as well, or we could add it in style tags up at the top of the page. So a number of different ways to add in styling within the web pages. So this is a way to add it in as an attribute. So in the next lesson, I'm going to show you how you can add styling and update the look and feel of your HTML elements. So that's coming up in the next lesson.